7 winners last year brought Willie Mullins' total number of Cheltenham Festival winners to 61, which makes him the winningmost trainer of all time at the Cheltenham Festival. This year he's busy readying the battalions again.
I think looking at Nicky Henderson's card going into Cheltenham this year, he might pass me again, so I'm enjoying it while I have it.
This year it's a wee bit different to last year in that the weather has probably changed plans or meant that horses haven't run as often as they could have. How has it affected you?
I think it's affected a lot of trainers. We haven't got a lot of our novices out, especially our novice chasers, and a few of the novice hurdlers, and they're not going to come out now, I think, at this stage of the year. So it's been disappointing, but the horses are sound and well, so it'd be worse if they were injured, and we couldn't risk running them, the ground was too firm.
And does it mean that maybe some young horses you had in mind at the start of the season that might be Cheltenham horses haven't just got there yet?
They haven't got runs, and we're probably going to put them by. A lot of my owners are asking the question, should we go on or should we just up sticks until the new season comes around?
But that said, you still have a very strong team.
We have a nice team. We probably have horses going that we didn't think were going to be aimed at Cheltenham. They're horses that we started off early, Aramon and a few like that, and they've just kept winning on the ground that's in it, and that's the ground probably we're going to have for Cheltenham. So they're the best of the crop that's here at the moment, and that's it.
Yeah. So in the Gold Cup you've got 3, possibly 4 contenders in Kenboy, Bell's Hill, Albion Photo, and maybe Invitation Only as well.
Yeah. So Bell's Hill won the Irish Gold Cup. He did it well. He's improving, I think. He jumped spectacularly there, and I think he's a horse that's on the rise. Kenboy won at Christmas in Leopardstown, and jumping was electric on that ground. If it's like that in Cheltenham, that gives him a huge chance. And I think the further they were going that day, the better he was liking it, and which surprised me. The way the race was run that day, he changed gear halfway through the race and just hit the front and jumped from fence to fence. And I thought, is he going to collapse coming to the second last or after the second last? And he just changed gear again around the last bend and galloped up the last, jumped it and away from him. So I thought that was a very good performance, and we've decided to keep him fresh and go to Cheltenham on the back of that run.
He may not have got the credit that he deserved that day, because David Mullins, who rode him, saw that they weren't going a great pace and moved to the front. But he won well.
He did. He did it the hard way. To do what he did was very hard, and maybe people put it down as a bit of a freak result or something. But I think to try and replicate that run with another, it's not something you set out to do. And when David was doing it, I was wondering what was in his head. But he was just riding by instinct, and he knew what he was doing, and it worked out.
Yeah. Albion Photo, he's a young horse. He's only 7. He's won the Saddexx chase at Tremor, but he missed the Irish Gold Cup because of the ground.
Yeah, and he's a horse that could improve, but maybe he's more next year's horse than this year's horse. But it'll do him no harm to go there and take his chance.
And ideally you would have got a run into him between New Year's Day and Cheltenham?
I'd rather have got a run into him, but it is what it is now, and we have to work away with it.
And Invitation Only won the Thyestes. It's a route that Gold Cup winners or Gold Cup runners and big Gold Cup runners have taken in the past.
It is. He's a horse that's improving too. He's probably just a little bit under the radar at the moment, and but I think he could improve to be a proper Grade 1 horse in time. This year might be just a bit soon for him.
And the Champion Hurdle, you have Lorena and Mellon, maybe?
Yeah, Mellon probably hasn't fired this year. His homework before Leopardstown, his last run in Leopardstown was very good. We thought it was very good, and we were disappointed with him. So we're going to change a few things going to Cheltenham this year. Hopefully we can get him to run as well as he did last year. That puts him in the frame. Very pleased. Of course, we'll see about Lorena. She's doing everything right at home. Not ideal that we had to give her a flu jab last week. We had to do the whole yard. We did it, and we didn't. So a few horses missed their prep runs for Cheltenham, but I felt maybe we let this mare take her chance and let her run today.
She was dynamite last year on soft ground. Do you think she'll be as effective on better ground?
I've often gone to Cheltenham wondering and worrying about horses, especially a horse called Miguel Dagenais, thinking that he was just a horse that went on heavy ground, and I couldn't believe it when he got to Cheltenham and he just started to float on the good ground over there. Maybe she's the same, but definitely all her form is on soft or heavy. But I think in Ireland this year we've had only 4 racetracks with the description soft or heavy since last August in them, in the ground description, and that's hugely unusual. I think soft or heavy on 18% of our race tracks between November, December, January, and from 2015 to 18, those 3 months, it would normally run over 80%. So that's the difference. That's the type of year. It's an extraordinary year.
And just as away from racing, do you think that's just a freak year, or do you think it's something that we have to try and get used to? Maybe.
No, I think it's just a freak year. I mean, we had our heat wave, and this I don't think I've ever seen this sort of a winter. I mean, we haven't had a winter. I mean, this is the coldest day, I think, and the windiest day we've had yesterday and today, and we had 1 or 2 days of rain back there about 6 weeks ago, and that was it. So, well, for the general population, they're delighted. This is the sort of winter we've had. For trainers and farmers, I think it hasn't. Well, farmers, it's been good because they've got grass and everything coming, but generally for people minding animals, it's been tough. Yeah, a lot of coughs and colds and flus going around, as we see from reading the papers every day.
Yeah. So with the stairs hurdle, FAUGHEEN probably?
Yeah. FAUGHEEN is coming back to himself. He got an awful fall at Leopardstown, and it's a miracle that he's come back, but he seems to be back and bouncing, so he'll take his chance there. Yeah,
because he was on the ground for a little while that day, and it was a little bit worrying.
He
for a
was,
few seconds.
and just the nature of the fall. He rolled over on his neck. He was very sore in his shoulder and he was very sore in his hips, but we've given him all the time to get over that, and we won't really know until probably Ruby presses the button at about the second last, or whenever he's going to have to press it if he gets that far. That's we'll wait and see.
Yeah, you have a very strong team of novice chasers. Just so we can mention 1 or 2 of them.
No, we probably hadn't got a strong team as novice chasers as other years. Ballyward will go in the 4-mile chase.
That was his only entry. Is that because that's the way it was, or did Patrick do the entries for that one?
Yeah, that's probably right. But when we were doing the novice chase entries, we were looking at all our horses and we were saying, haven't even had a run yet over it, so how can we enter it? And that's really what happened. Duke de Geneva won well the other day, so he'll probably go for the Arkle. Kellius Emery was going for the Arkle, but he pulled a muscle schooling the other day, and whether he makes it or not at the moment is in the balance. So it's quite on the novice chasers. Novice hurlers a bit better, I think.
Just Voix de Rêve and
Voix de Rêve will probably Voix de Rêve and Real Steel runs in novice chase tomorrow, and if he wins it to qualify for the handicap, but if he wins the race tomorrow, it'll probably put him over the limit. So he will either go for that 2.5 mile handicap or the 2.5 mile JLT. Voix de Rêve will probably go for the JLT, I'd say, as well, 2.5. I think we're going to up him in trip.
Your novice hurdlers, the Aramon and Classical Dream fought out the finish for the Grade 1 at Leopardstown.
Yeah. Aramon surprised me that he's kept climbing every obstacle we put in front of him. He just kept climbing and going right, and he was probably a shade unlucky against Classical Dream the other day, but it was Classical Dream's second run for us, I think, and he's won both, and he looked like a horse that's improving. Aramon definitely goes for the Supreme Novice. Classical Dream, we will debate whether we will go. He can go out and trip to the Ballymore, but I think he's sharp enough and jumps well enough, particularly jumps well enough for the Supreme, whichever race we will see on the day.
And Aloha, will he go for the Albert Bartlett?
Yes, I think I toyed with the idea of coming back to the Ballymore because he was so free, but I think we'll just stick with the Albert Bartlett, and that he's a horse that, I mean, he disappointed me so much in the bumper at Christmas, and he showed he showed in Clonmel what he'd been showing me at home, that he's a decent horse, and I think he's every inch a chaser, isn't he? I mean, you'd think like you could go chasing straight away, but we'll wait till next season, and he's one I'm really looking forward to next season.
Yeah. Tiger Tapsap, juvenile hurler, he looked very good the first day, and then
he did, yeah, and it might have been my own fault. He had a very hard race the first day, and I was very easy on him at home. I just gave him time to recover, and I probably gave him too much time to recover, and he's a good grubber. He probably just got a bit gross because he didn't pick up at all when Ruby wanted him to in Leopardstown the last day. Hopefully we'll have him back into the sort of form that he showed in Leopardstown the first time.
Footpad and Min, they're both on track for either the Ryanair.
Yeah,
or
I
the
mean both
Champion
of those entries for the Ryanair and the Champion Chase. Obviously Altior is the one that is on everyone's lips, but I'd probably keep my two apart, and one will take on Altior on the Champion Chase and the other one will go for the Champion for the Ryanair.
What will determine, because either could go 2.5 and either could go 2 mile.
Yeah, they could. We'll probably see how they work coming towards the festival and take it from there. That'll be it. I mean, we don't like making our mind up until we have to.
Blue Sari, he's probably
Blue
leads your
Sari
bumper
goes
team.
for the bumper, yeah. And it's unusual for us to bring over a 4-year-old, but he was very good in Goran, and he's a lovely temperament. So I think he'll handle Cheltenham all right. Very unusual. I think only 3 4-year-olds have won the bumper. Statistically, it might be against him, but what he did in Goran that day was very, very good. He doesn't show us that at home. He shows us that he's a galloper at home, which you need to be in Cheltenham, but he showed speed that day. And
because it didn't go a great gallop and he quickened away from
yeah,
the front.
but he showed real speed. I mean, it wasn't just a laboured gallop to the front. When he got there, he just quickened away again, you know. So, and you know, there was great confidence in the horse that was second that day, and he was going well. The horse that was second was going well when he fell in his next run in Nace, and that gives us a good bit of hope, I think.
So 7 winners last year. Would you settle for the same again this year?
Definitely, yes, I would. I can't see us doing anything like that this year, but I'd be hopeful we get a few nice ones.